Hello and welcome to the March 2022 edition of the Pre-sale Pulse, a channel that is dedicated to helping you understand everything happening in real estate across Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. Now, I'm Ryan Lalonde.
And I'm Brittany Reimer.
And if you're new to the channel, this edition of the Pre-sale Pulse is all about recapping both the pre-sale and the resale marketplace over the past 30 days in the Fraser Valley. Our goal is to ensure that all of our subscribers feel like they have their fingers on the pulse and becoming real estate intelligent. Now, Brittany, the Valley saw a bit of tension released in the supply and demand imbalance with a record number of homes entering into the marketplace. There was a 75% increase from January 2022 and an increase of just under 15% from February 2021. This is exceeding some of the previous numbers recorded back in 2016, which are the record setters at this point. Incredible pace, once again, coming out of the Fraser Valley.
And with that said, let's jump right into today's stats. We've got a lot of great things to chat about. We'll cover the biggest upcoming project launches. We'll talk about the immense increase in inventory, as you already mentioned, Ryan, coming into the market. And lastly, we're going to wrap things off by looking at the resale market and trends. So we're going to jump right into it. The pre-sale market has come, and with it, an incredible amount of pre-sale activity. Parkway by Bosa has sold over 88% of its inventory at a blended average of $1,100 for price per square foot, minting a new record in the Surrey City market and the Fraser Valley, hitting much higher numbers on their higher floor inventory as well, of course. Prosper, we've been keeping a close eye on this, as well as Central Living. Both of these projects have been keeping us on our toes as we wait for their sales to commence. That said, they've had some delays just with municipalities, as much of our development partners have seen over the last few months here. And so, Ryan, let's jump right into pre-sale highlights. Why don't you kick us off?
I love it. Okay. I think the first thing we have to do, though, is just circle back a little bit. Bosa, $1,100 a square foot. Yeah. Surrey is driving towards $1,300 a square foot. We know that that's maybe on the horizon with some of the upcoming inventory. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into that, but incredible to see the change that we've witnessed over the last 12 months. So first up, Flora and Fauna by Tangerine Developments. Now, this is a wood frame development. It's located off of 202B and 72nd Avenue in Willoughby. Tangerine's been doing deals quietly, mainly with friends and family, a lot of past purchasers in previous projects. We're hearing through the grapevine that Flora is now all under contract. The limited remaining homes right now were released to the public and insider sales. Really big uptick. The overall project seems to be blending around $700 a square foot. This is likely escalating to around $815, maybe $825 as the program really progresses, as we would expect. Up next, let's talk about Union at Willoughby by Gotcha Properties.
Sounds good. So townhouse product featuring home size 1,650 to 2,100 square feet. The project is located at 92nd Avenue and 208th in Langley. They're offering 99 homes. They've had 26 released so far, and they've sold about half of those within the last 45 days. Pricing is blending around that $675 for price per square foot mark. Really interesting to see this spread on price per square foot here between this project and some of the more boutique format product that we mentioned in last month's episode. Pricing is starting in the 1.1 million mark for their 3-bedroom and den. It sounds like you want to cut me off here. Are you going to cut me off?
I think
we'll keep going.
I think we're nailing it.
And we expect that this is going to continue to escalate as inventory gets released over the next few weeks here. So, Ryan, why don't we jump over to Abbotsford? It's been a while since we've talked about true Abbotsford mission product.
I love it. Okay, so let's check out the latest wood frame there. That's Montview by Parcel 7. Now, this project is centrally located within Abbotsford, and it's really close proximity to just a wide range of amenities. It's going to include ground floor retail with a really strong level of connectivity. It's all about activation of those floor plates. Prices start in the low 400s for their 1-bedroom homes, and projecting something in the neighborhood of low 700s a square foot, 725 to potentially 735 as an opener. Buyers are primarily a mix of local end users and investors at this point.
Yeah, and no surprise, as we start to see the inventory in Langley and Surrey really start to tighten, it opens the door wide for Abbotsford and Mission. And so I think as we continue into the spring, this trend is absolutely going to continue as people find really good value in other submarkets.
Yeah, you're right. Now you have Central Surrey that's pushing up into the $1,200 range. We have Langley that's really close behind, right? And now we're seeing Abbotsford on a run, right? $725 for this. Most likely going up to $800 a square foot by the end of this year. That seems really interesting for that marketplace.
Heading right back to Langley, Vesta Properties, Latimer Village, another phase coming to market. We've been closely tracking this program for the last 18 months. It would actually be really interesting, and maybe next month we can feature that to see where this program has gone since that first phase launched to where it is today in the market. So previews are beginning for building J and K. Do you think we're going to get to like W, XYZ? Maybe by the end of the program.
How big is this project?
massive. On March 12th to March 20th, the pricing, I'm expecting that their one bedrooms are going to be starting in the low 500s, and their two bedrooms and three beds in the mid 600s to 800,000. Two beds will start around 800 square feet, while the three beds will be closer to that 1,320 square feet range. This is going to be a really good option for downsizers, especially with the limited amount of inventory that is, out in that marketplace for that downsizer.
I think up next, let's jump into some of the resale stats that are coming out of the Fraser Valley. So let's take a really close look maybe of what's happening on the supply range.
Absolutely. So Fraser Valley supply came in roaring in February, setting a record month with a whopping 75% increase to available inventory for buyers to finally be able to choose from. This actually represented the highest number of new listings since 2016. This is a really good sign, right? This is a great sign for buyers that are looking to get into the market here. The increase helped drive sales up as well, with volume setting a strong 18% above the 10-year average for February sales. Despite this, we are very much still in an unbalanced market with demand running ahead of supply. We're watching this on a daily basis. I was looking at this today as well for March, and we are still seeing that 45 to 50% sales to listing ratio, but as that inventory starts to drip out, it is absolutely starting to change.
Single family homes also seen some notable increases. They've notched up month over month. Appreciation over the last 30 days of 5.6% and 5.7% respectively.
Yeah, absolutely. So, keep in mind, right, despite the increase in listings and homes, the homes are still not lasting long on the market. The average time on market is 11 to 13 days until sale. So for comparison, the 1 year average is 21 days for townhomes, and single family homes, 35 days for apartments.
I think one market to really watch out for right now is also Abbotsford, right? You're seeing single family homes posted a 1 month benchmark increase of 9.3% from January. Now that is record setting. Now, of course, that relates to inventory and what's available on supply, but still, when you're seeing those types of appreciation, you have to take a step back and pause.
Yeah, you look at the hot sheet for Langley single family, and it's the same story, right? We've got green all over the place, and for those realtors that are watching, you know what that means? It means that everything is still going for over list price.
Yeah, great point. Composite benchmark, this is a really big one. In the Fraser Valley, it hit $1.3 million. So not only is this a historic high for the Fraser Valley, it's also the first time in history that the benchmark price for the Fraser Valley has actually been higher than Greater Vancouver. And while it makes sense that given detached product makes up a higher proportion of the Fraser Valley's marketplace, this is still a really incredible moment, right? It aligns with the sentiment that we shared on previous pulses, which is that gains we're seeing in Fraser Valley are a market correction as the real estate has historically been undervalued. We've seen this significant shift from the lower mainland, Greater Vancouver, out to the Fraser Valley. And as that has happened, increased demand, constant price increases, it was only a matter of time.
Yeah, and I completely agree, right? One thought I have is, what does this mean for the Greater Vancouver market? Is there good opportunities still for buyers to be dabbling and getting into that marketplace today to see that appreciation?
So finally, let's just take a quick look at product type as well. Detached and townhome product. Now, we saw about a 6.5% and a 5.6% month over month increase to their benchmark prices. Condo won out again, though, with the largest monthly increase with a staggering 7.1% appreciation from January. So those are month over month appreciation. And in many markets in the past, over the last 30 years, you might expect those numbers across 12 months, not 30 days. And that just puts into preference, I think, or into reference or into focus how significant those numbers are.
Yeah, and I can almost bet you, Rye, next month we're going to look at that number and it'll be in the double digits. So, Rye, let's take a look at the sales to listing ratios. While the increase in inventory is great to see, it just wasn't enough to significantly move the needle down. We still saw the overall sales to listing ratio at 48%. Detached homes saw a 46% sales to listing ratio, while similarly to Greater Vancouver, the townhouse and condo ratios were very similar and very tight at 69% and 67% respectively.
Britt, I think that's a wrap of this edition of the Pre-sale Pulse. And to our subscribers and viewers, if you found some value in today's episode, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel and our newswire, our daily roundup of the latest real estate news in our industry. Subscribers get early access to Pre-sale Pulse, market insights, and the latest projects breaking ground. Now, MLA Advisory is going to continue to play a significant role in every part of the marketplace across Canada. We are constantly attempting to understand each and every marketplace. If you're looking for a second opinion or you're just looking for some perspective, please feel free to reach out to us in any of the links below.
And lastly, we want to hear from you. Leave a comment if you have any questions or want us to speak about any trends or insights that we didn't mention in today's episode. We, of course, enjoy hearing from our peers, and we want to ensure that our Pre-sale Pulse is your preeminent source of real estate intelligence.
Agreed, yeah. And thanks to all of our viewers for tuning in. Looking forward to seeing you next month.